Well, hello friends, another quarter of 2019 comes to a close, and it's time for me to look back at my favorite K-pop songs from the last 3 months. In case you missed my first quarter video, feel free to check out the 25 songs I enjoyed from the first few months of 2019 after this video. Like the first one, this one is going to be scriptless and in a podcast-like style as I sit back and recount the songs from this quarter. For this one, I have 27 songs to go over, and so let's get started. Okay, starting off this countdown, well, it's not a countdown, but, you know, this list, I'm actually going in order like the last one, in the order of which I have downloaded the songs. And for this case, the very first song I downloaded after the last video was IZ*ONE, Violeta. Man, I almost wanted to say iZone, but no, IZ*ONE. I mean, this one, I don't know. This one was just an okay song to me. I don't necessarily have high feelings about it. It just was one of those downloads and plays. I don't want to, I'm just getting through the day and, just kind of background music for me. It's not one of those yeah, I love this. Oh my God, it's a total fucking bop. I don't know. I mean, it just kind of, passes the time for me. All right, moving on. I'll admit that I didn't necessarily care for the song when it first came out. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a little bit of an easy say song, but I also thought, oh my God, this might be the first BTS song that the comeback song that I didn't like. But then it ended up growing on me, and it was kind of, it was okay. But I don't know. It was definitely not one that I put high up in a category. It was just one of those okay, it's catchy, moving on. Technically not from the second quarter, but one that I downloaded from this quarter. People shared this to me in my live stream when they told me that I should check this one out. And I thought to myself, this can't be real. That can't be a rock song. That sounds like a ballad when you title it Spring Snow. Well, it wasn't, and it made me feel like I was in an anime, and I totally loved it. Another one that didn't initially grab me from the very beginning, but, something about that ho for Beck Ho just gets me. But I don't know. It was really nice to finally see them all reunite as five again. And, and I was like, oh, I had to like this. And then it just ended up growing on me because it has that different sound. And New East never typically tends to follow a lot of trends. They kind of just do their own damn thing. And so this one was one of those. And I was like, okay, accepted fresh. Okay. Damn it. There we go, being awkward again. Here's another one to add to that list from the month of April. I don't know. A lot of these songs that I'm presenting so far are just ones that I just was like, okay, these are okay to me. I'm not in love with them, and this one was one of those. This kind of reminds me of a very Golden Child-esque type song. But, I enjoyed it. It was kind of cute, but, I don't know. Just, again, it just passes the time and listening. Looking back, I'm surprised at how many The Boyz songs I've downloaded from their last few comebacks. It's man, I guess I'm really starting to like these guys. This one I thought it was another decent one. It wasn't one that I put up in a higher regard compared to their 2018 stuff. It was just another one, as I said, just passes the time. And then we finally get to this solo comeback. And might I just say, I was so finally happy that he didn't come back with the ballad. Jesus Christ, I am so tired of him just getting stuck with the ballads. I know, I don't know. It just always typically lead singers of groups. But he didn't have to get the ballad this time. He actually got a full-on dance, and it was great. And biases aside, I actually really, really, really like this song compared to most of the songs on this countdown. I think it's top 2, if not number 1, my favorite from this quarter. But I would say just something about this one, it was just the timelessness of it. It was just it wasn't filled with stupid sounds and shit. This one was just straight up timeless. Loved it. I was like, eee! And I still play it. All right. Yep. I'll admit, this one is another one that I didn't necessarily... I was a little bit let down when it first came out. When that chorus started, I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted from them. And then all of a sudden, that second half of the chorus said, la, 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 la. I was like, oh, okay. Got my attention. But then, it still didn't go anywhere for me. But then it was 3 listens or 4 listens later, it really grew on me. Loved it a lot. I definitely would not put it on the same pedestal as their 2018 stuff because I have that as a very high regard for me. But this one was enjoyable still. I will continue to enjoy this for the rest of the year. I'm sure of it. But, Oh My Girl, they're just always so fun and I love their comeback. So thanks, ladies. When EXID came out and this one first started, and then I got about a minute and a half in the song, I recall my first listen, I was like, ooh, I hate this. It just not what I was wanting. And then all of a sudden, I think second chorus, and then when the bridge started, and then the finale, I was like, well, okay. I'm like, this is a fucking bang. I'm about to pop off on this shit. And I just ended up it just grew on me, and I feel... Sorry, I had to cut that. Anyway, I'm still getting over my cough. Anyway, but I really, total banger. I loved it a lot. It actually ended up becoming one of my favorite ones. I was like, oh, okay, club stuff. Okay. I'm gonna get drunk for this, but I enjoyed it. It's thumbs up for me. One of the Japanese ones on this countdown. Well, it's not a countdown. Damn it, list. But this one, it was just another one that I thought was okay. I preferred Taeyeon's Stay last year. This one, I was like, okay, it's fine. I enjoyed it. It has its nice little moments and just a nice, simple song that, 4 out of 5 for me. So earlier this year, we got the awesome ONEUS and the Valkyrie debut, and so now we got the counter to it, ONEWE. And as expected, it was going to be, a ballad-oriented one, but it was a very nice ballad. I liked it. I would say that the last minute and a half is what makes the song for me, where the one singer just goes all out on it, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I approve. But, nice, simple song, I would say. Not a 5 out of 5, maybe a 4.3 out of 5. Sure, we'll go with that. And we got ourselves a C-pop song. I don't know, NCT Chinese unit. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's shocking because normally I don't like songs like these. Or, I don't know, usually that hard-hitting hip-hop kind of sounds don't really do anything for me. But, I don't know. I guess this one just ended up working in a way. I really can't put my finger on what made me like this song. I thought it's a decent song. I'm not in love with it, honestly, but... Again, it just passes the time. Maybe my standards have lowered, but it's okay. It's fine. It just gets me through the day. Okay.
take my hand.
Hey, I don't care, a secret. Weekend. Nobody know this weekend.
All right, we got ourselves a Japanese song from SNUPER. I really miss SNUPER. I hope that they come back to the, Korea soon. I need another Sweet Tune collaboration again. But this one was just biding the time, but holding me over. But I don't know. This one was just okay. I don't put this one anywhere near their best works. I don't know. Even one of my criticisms for this one, I thought that the one singer where he does the final note, I thought the vowel usage of secret was kind of strange. Because he's like, we can secret, so we can secret. I don't know. I think he should have used a different vowel or something to make it sound a little bit more pleasant to the ears, because that vowel is a little more, it's a different usage. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just kind of like, okay, well, I thought it was going to be higher or more exciting, but that was just kind of flat to me. But, oh well. I still enjoyed it. Maybe you might like it too. Oh, my boys Ace came back. The boys from Thailand. It's definitely no Cactus or Colin for me, but this one was a nice one. I would say my favorite part of this whole song is the bridge, where they're like, nobody. I mean, it's just so much fun. But I don't know. I just, some of the little try hard rap stuff is kind of a little bit much for me. The step back, she toxic, cock back and pop it. I don't know. I just kind of like, oh, really? I don't know. I'm surprised that I really like this one, but maybe it's because it's Ace that I gave him a free pass. But I mean, overall, I love the rock sounds. I love some of the execution of it. I definitely felt like there could have been a little bit more vocals to this one, but you know what? They made it work. And the bridge is just one of those exciting moments for me. But Ace is always just so good, and I hope nothing but for the best for them. Normally, I never ever go listen to teasers or anything because I don't want to spoil the song. I kind of want the first moment to feel for it. And I made the mistake of listening to the performance of that 1 minute clip of them performing the song on the, Good Morning America. And I, really fucking loved it. I was like, oh my God, we got a shiny song! I just knew this had to have been a shiny song. It had to have been because you could identify all the members, and then there's that Baekhyun part.
Some way, somehow.
So it's like shiny plus Baekhyun. But the rest of it, I mean, I was super excited. And when the song officially came, I thought I was gonna really love it a lot more than I expected than it ended up being. But you know what? I still enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I thought I was going to regard this as my favorite song of the year, but it ended up not fulfilling that expectation. This is what happens when you go in with too high expectations, but it still fulfilled it. I still liked it overall. Very fun. I love the retro things. I really hope that NCT continues this route because this is what I enjoy about K-pop, and I hope they continue with it because it was fun. Bring out those shiny B-sides that were rejected because that's clearly what this was. So I don't know if you guys ever watched my top 100 favorite songs from last year, but Eyedi was up there with Caffeine in the top 20 for me. And I really, really love this one. And then for this one and New, I think the ampersand New is what I'm going to call it. This one, I had a hard time initially because it took me a while to like it. And I think it was mainly because they did this post-production thing to make it sound like it was 80s. And it just to me came off really cheap sounding. And I had a hard time with that, but once I kind of finally got past it, I kind of was like, okay, it's an 80s bop, synth pop. I kind of like it now, so not my favorite, but it gets the job done, okay? I'm not totally familiar with Eyes, but with this one, I kind of knew. I kind of kept an eye out for them because I knew something was going to happen with anime sounds, and I was correct. And I fucking loved the anime J-rock sound that this song produced with Eden, and loads of fun. And if you like those kind of sounds, then this is definitely a song for you. It deserves a little bit more love than it's currently getting. Come on, people, don't sleep on talent. So we got 7, and this was another one that it took me a while to like. I remember not caring for it when I my first listen, and I kind of just brushed it aside and like, nah, it's just generic. But you know, I think it was like because I really liked Lullaby a lot last year, and so I kind of was going into this one hoping that they were gonna capture another fun retro sound, but they did not. It was just a interesting one, but it finally ended up growing on me. But I don't put this anywhere near their best, but you know, it just again, it's just a filler. It gets me through the day, and you know, I'm just gonna keep adding to my playlist. And another song that's actually from quarter 1. It took me, 3 months for me to finally like the song. I always kept going back to it because I really enjoyed the instrumental to it. The vocals I felt were slightly lacking, but the instrumental, I love the piano work. I love the feel of the song. It just was a really aesthetically pleasing song too, but visually. But in this one, I don't know. It just took me a while, and I was like, all right, I'm finally gonna just make the move and download it, and that's what I ended up doing. So here we are. And AB6, I did keep an eye on them, but with this one, it was like, I think it took me about 2 weeks before I finally ended up like, okay, I guess I'll download it too. But I don't know, it was just kind of one of those like, it was not like the generic, but it just kind of just, you know, laid there. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just pick it up. Okay. This one was an interesting suggestion to me, and that was given to me, and then I ended up finally listening to it. I was like, oh, hello. Not really familiar with this group, but with the song called Freesm. I don't even know how you say that, because they don't even say it correctly. They go Freesm or whatever, but I look past it. I don't know. It's kind of one of those like fun little happy go bops. I don't know. I know what I like about it. The way it starts off. The way the song starts off, it was an instant love, but then it ended up, when the song started, it was like, or like once it got through it, I was like, oh, it's not as high as I expected, but I still got it. You know, I ended up downloading it, and, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, it gets there, it gets me going, and, you know, it's a good way to start the day. And my boys SF9 came back, and I don't know what I was going in expecting this when I think of a cool RPM song. I was like, is it going to be like EXO's Tempo or some shit? But, you know, it ended up not going that route. But it was, the beat drop is kind of one of those things that I like step back on. I'm like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted. But I eventually came around to this one, but it's nowhere near what I highly regard of Now or Never. And I kind of did like their other one earlier this year more, but this one just kind of is just okay to me. I eventually just ended up still downloading it because I like these guys, and they still had some good moments in the song, but I'll just continue to look for what else they have. Tiara's Eunjung came back in Japan, and it was quite surprising. I never would have ever expected a song like this from a Tiara member. I was like, oh my god, we got an anime theme. I was ready to like transform sequence ready and shit, and like, you know, in the power of the moon. I mean, I don't know. It was just so much fun. Just love anime sounds. I love the rock. Just like ready to just, you know, initiate the transformation sequence. I mean, it was a lot of fun. If you like these kind of sounds, then this is the song for you. Boy, let me tell you, this reminded me so much of when I first heard of I Got a Boy, because it was like, love this, hate this, love it, I don't know about this, that's okay. Like, I mean, throughout the whole song, my first listen, I was just like, up and down, up and down, up and down. I felt like I was fucking bipolar or shit, but, you know, once I finally got past it, and then listened to it again, and I was like, Zimzalabim, I was like, oh, okay. You know what? I ended up like, I don't care. I ended up kind of liking this song. It's kind of a weird little bop that, you know, it's kind of a guilty pleasure because, I mean, it's very polarizing, but, you know, it grew on me, and I really enjoyed like the last half. Like the last half of it is just where I think it just brings the song home, because the beginning it was just kind of like, oh my god, what the fuck is this? But I got through it, and you know what? I don't care. It was a very interesting song, and one that I ended up like, okay, download.
Common
side effects include nervousness, insomnia, nausea, agitation, anxiety, vision problems, psychosis.
Well, look at that. Stray Kids once again came back strong, and with the song that made me feel like I was about to go into battle and fight to kill everybody. I mean, it was so much fun. I love the feeling the song gives. It's not a sound you typically kind of hear in music for K-pop. It just was definitely one of those fight sequences, like, initiate the fight sequence. I mean, I fucking loved it. Oh, man. Just so much energy. Lots of just, I really, really loved it. It was good. Definitely one of my favorites of this group of songs that I'm presenting.
Who do you love? Is it him or me? 'Cause I can't.
Oh boy. When it comes to English songs, I'm usually always pretty skeptical and cringe a lot, usually. Well, this one did make me cringe, but only at one specific spot. French Montana spot. Who would have thought that it would have been the English speaker that would have just fucked up the song? But I look past it. I still really enjoy the song overall. I really love MONSTA X on this contribution. I would just much prefer to have a version that didn't have French Montana in it, because the fucking dude literally said Titty Boy and Gordon Ramsay and all this mix smash of stupid shit that you could ever put into a rap, and I'm rolling my eyes still thinking about it. But side note, I cannot wait to see MONSTA X in concert in 2 weeks. Woo!
What?
This one is technically from quarter 3 because it came out on July 1st or 2nd, but that's okay. I will make an exception and add this one as the finale because it was my most recent download. What an interesting banger of a song for our queen Ailee to finally come back to. I mean, it was definitely, I will admit, this song is definitely not suitable for her. I'm like, okay, well, that's unusual, but I mean, it's still a cool pop-off banger type song. I mean, it's quite surprising how many club bangers we have this year. It's like, wow, okay, is this a new trend? I'm kind of with it. And it's a great summer song, and I'm ready to just keep going. So let's hope for the next second half of the year is even better. Well, that's it for today, folks. I have 27 new songs that I've downloaded in the last 3 months. 2019 honestly hasn't been my most favorite year in K-pop. I think a lot of these songs are just decent but not amazing, but we'll just keep going and hope for the best for the second half. Hope you enjoy my scriptless video again. Gives a little bit more of my personality, I think. We'll see. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy this, please hit that like button, subscribe, and check out many more of my works while you're here, and hope to see you next time.